Hey folks, it's me, John Jack, and welcome to another episode of Talking Indie Comics with John Jack. This is episode number 4, and sorry, I had a lot of coffee. It's gonna be a fun show. So, this week I'm going to be talking. Lost my place in my book. I'll be talking Labyrinth Coronation number 8. Coda number 6, Zinnober number 5, Aliens Dust to Dust number 3, and Zero Jumper number 4. Those are from Boom Boom, Scout, Dark Horse, and Alterna, respectively. We do have a YouTube channel, Comic Watch. Please subscribe if you like what you see and want to see more. And we also have another show which is more Big 2 oriented, called Comic Watchers, on that same channel, and you can find me on Facebook on the Comic Watchers Show, or in my Facebook group for the love of comic books, on Twitter at John Batusi Jack. You can friend me at John Jack on Facebook, or you can see the reviews we write at comic-watch.com. And on comicwatch.com we do have a Patreon account if you feel like you'd like to donate. Exciting stuff. So I'm going to start with a couple Boom books, both written by Cy Spurrier, actually. I'm a big fan of Cy Spurrier right now. He's currently writing The Dreaming, Labyrinth Coronation, and Coda. The two of those I will be talking about tonight. So, first I'm going to talk about Labyrinth Coronation number 8, which is written by Cy Spurrier and Ryan Ferrier, and has art by Daniel Bayliss and Irene Flores. Labyrinth Coronation is a tale of Jareth, who you may know as David Bowie, the Goblin King. Him as a baby being kidnapped in much the same manner that Toby is in the movie, and being shaped into becoming the new Goblin King. And rather than Sarah from the movie, we're following the exploits of Jareth's mother as she goes through the labyrinth trying to save him, being thwarted at every turn by the dastardly Owl King, who is Jareth's, predecessor as Goblin King. All in all, I thought this issue and this series in general is really, really well written and just brilliant. It plays off the movie with sections taking place during the movie, and Jareth is in fact in the movie as him. It's not like one of those like Titans. If you've been watching Titans, has been driving me nuts with Bruce Wayne in the background as a shadow with his arms crossed, not saying a word. It's not really Bruce Wayne, is it? But this is in fact Jareth, and he does reference moments from the movie. Obviously, the licensing for David Bowie in Labyrinth is a little bit less complex than Batman, but the comparison is valid. And the mother in this is joined by a bandit turned knight. Well, he's a bandit, but he has a good heart, and he's a goblin. And then Bundergast the Invincible, who's a worm, and a bush that's infected with goblin flies and is therefore insane. All in all, it's a very fun. We're back to the focus issue. I don't know what the deal with the focus is. Maybe if I tap it once. Better. But so far she's been basically led in circles as one is in a labyrinth. And she seems to be slowly being worked back towards the beginning of the labyrinth. And like in the movie, she has, 24 hours to 24 hours to find him, or baby Jareth becomes a goblin, or the Goblin King, or something. I don't really know. Alright, so as always, this is a book that I'm buying that I do recommend. Stupid camera. It's my phone, I'm pretty sure. But maybe I need to turn on manual focus or something. Is that a thing? But this is a book that I've been buying since day one. Partially because I'm a big fan of Labyrinth, the movie, but mostly because anything Cy Spurrier writes right now, I'm buying all 3 of his ongoing books. I have 2 issues of Crossed that he wrote, and trust me when I say I do not buy Crossed ever. I have, his Suicide. He did a 2-issue Suicide Squad arc last January that I have. I like Spurrier. He's funny. He does dark humor really well, and that's going to come into play in the next series we're going to talk about, which is Coda number 6. Which is written by Cy Spurrier with art by Matthias Bergara. I don't know how to say that. And this is once again published by Boom Studios. So this is basically this story is basically the magical equivalent of a post-apocalyptic wasteland, if that makes sense. So basically, it's a sword and sorcery land where something happened and all of the magic is more or less dead or dying. And this follows a bard who was looking for his wife for the first few issues, and he's now found her, and they have found a wit lord, which is like an undead wizard type thing that it's the last wit lord, and he's driving a moving city being pulled by a giant. So this is one of the biggest fonts of magic left in the world. And his wife is she was a servant of the wit lords and wants nothing to do with them, and not only that, but she wants to kill them all. This issue would be a good jumping on point because Coda 1 through 5, the trade paperback, just came out last month when it might be issue 1 through 4. So you could get the trade paperback and just find the first or the most recent 2 issues, which shouldn't be too hard to find. I know with these series, it's hard sometimes starting up after an arc or 2 because the issues will be either sold out, or if your shop doesn't have them, maybe they never ordered them. And I usually do try to focus on earlier series, but this week everything I got was, stuff that's ongoing, or in Zero Jumper's case, it's the last issue. So I'm going to be giving more of a overall arc review than a single issue review for that one. Coda, I believe, is going to 12. I know Labyrinth is going to 12. So both are, have plenty of life left in them. Coda has a half a year probably to go. Labyrinth has like 4 months to go. They're both monthly stories, and both are very, very good. They're kind of funny, kind of darkly funny. Labyrinth's a little more whimsical, whereas Coda's a little more serious, and you run into occasional evil and stuff like that, but still, it's kind of like a happy magical land that everything's gone kind of wrong. Not in like a I hate fairyland kind of way, but more in more of a gritty kind of silly way, if that makes sense. And next I want to talk about Zinnober number 5, which is from this is translated from German, so you're gonna need to. It's Thorsten Brockhaus, I don't know, with art and Ralph Singh, and then art by Ralph Singh. This is from Scout Comics, and this is Zinnober number 5. And basically just a general overview of Zinnober. Speaking of post-apocalyptic wastelands, it's basically the initial premise of Reign of Fire. Dragons wake up and overtake the world, and humanity's kind of on the run from the dragons now. And in this book, there are dragon cults that, judging from last issue, appear to be hypnotized by the dragons and possibly infected with something. It's hard to say. This issue's been a little bit of a slow burn for me. 5 issues in, we're still kind of just figuring out what's going on. I am not sure how many issues this is supposed to go. It's hard to picture it going more than 6, but at issue 5 we still haven't been given a ton of answers, so unless next issue is like a double with a bunch of ridiculous revelations, it might be a 10 or a 12 issue story. All in all, it's good. I've been writing up reviews for the site, so you can look up my reviews and see what I've thought as it goes along. Unfortunately, I think the first couple issues are out of print, but there should be a trade paperback soon. Really fun series. I like the art a lot. The dragons look really good. I'm a bit of a dinosaur nerd, so it's good to see. It's good to see reptilian monsters of any kind eating people and breathing fire. In the first issue, they shoot a dragon in the face with a rocket launcher, and it just pisses it off, and it kills like 20 people. So, you know, if that's the kind of thing that you're into in your miniseries, then this is the one for you. And again, it is kind of slow moving. I've had a couple people get upset that not enough is happening, but all in all, it's fun. It's all in fun. and it's like 1 issue every 2 months, so it's hardly a cost thing, really. It's just, you know, every so often I go on to LCS on every Wednesday, and every so often, oh, hey, an issue of Zinnober's out. No big deal. But definitely, I would recommend it going forward, and especially if a trade paperback comes out. I would say it probably will read better in trade paperback form because the issues do move kind of slowly. Next on the list is going to be Aliens Dust to Dust number 3 from Gabriel Hardman and Rain Barreto. Gabriel Hardman's writing and doing the art. Rain Barreto's doing colors, I believe. This is from Dark Horse Comics, as all Aliens comics have been forever. So this series has been, I love the art and the story. My biggest complaint is it is just plagued with delays. I think the first issue came out a month late. The gap between issue 1 and issue 2 was 2 months, and this issue, it's been 4 months since issue 2, and now we just got issue 3. Last issue was in mid-July. And again, this is one I'm writing on the site, so you can look up my reviews of it there if you on comic-watch.com if you are interested in a more in-depth analysis. So this series has been a young boy named Max trying to escape from a xenomorph outbreak on his colony planet, and in doing so, he has lost his mother to an alien, or to a facehugger, and the alien that birthed from his mother seems to be following him, and it's hard to say whether it's protecting him or just chasing him. You know how that is. I'm sure we all saw 28 Weeks Later. Not a great movie. But one thing I really liked about this issue is, so they got away on a shuttle, but then the shuttle crashed because, you know, it's an Aliens mini, and of course they're not just going to get away quick and easy. But one thing I really liked is in this issue, a good portion of it is spent running from aliens in a sandstorm, which is it's kind of hard to picture if you've never experienced a sandstorm before. But visibility isn't any better than it would be in a dark confines of a spaceship. So it's actually kind of a beautiful, perfect, like a similar setting to a spaceship, but not. Bit of a juxtaposition or whatever you might call it. That's not the right word. Whatever. But yeah, it was really fun. I think there's one issue to go for this. I assume it will be out early next year. That's a joke because it's been coming out so super slow. But definitely worth picking up if you're into the Aliens franchise at all. It is going to overlap the way it's going with next month's William Gibson Presents Alien 3, which is based on William Gibson's unreleased Alien 3 screenplay, because they basically, if you know anything about Alien 3, they had a whole script and everything, and then it got thrown out by the producers and reworked into what we got, which is a bit of a train wreck. So this is the unreleased version, and the first issue of that comes out November 14th. I wrote up a preview of that on the site. By the way, if you search Aliens, you will find it. Shh, get out of here. Sorry, cat. I'm not mean to my cat, I swear. Yeah, get out of here. Go on. Don't knock my phone over. Shh. If you made it to this point in the show, I do apologize. Alright, so we're on to my last new book for the week, which is going to be Zero Jumper number 4 from Patrick Mulholland and Alterna Comics. This is the final issue of this miniseries, and it has actually been really fun. It kind of feels along the lines of what, if you've been reading Sideways from DC Comics, it feels like what it could be. Basically, a boy named Juno is the last survivor of Earth following some kind of cataclysmic event, and he's come into possession of a suit that can utilize crystal energy obtained from these crystals he finds to travel through time. And last issue, he discovered the existence of a prime crystal that could be used to travel far enough back in time to undo the destruction of the Earth. So that's his goal now, and so we've reached kind of the final end game with Juno facing off against some old immortal god who wants nothing more than to kill him or be left alone or something. It doesn't matter. No, it does matter. I'm kidding. Last issue, Juno defeated his pursuer and stole a portion of his power, and ends up using that in the fight to rebuild the Earth. All in all, I thought the art on this miniseries was fantastic. The story was quick paced, which I liked, but it lacked gravitas at a couple points for the heaviness of what we were building towards. This last issue really kind of tied it all together, though, and kind of brought it, and I appreciated that, and I really did enjoy this last issue greatly. Highly recommend the series based on this last issue and the way the series wrapped. Not that I didn't recommend the series prior, but this is definitely worth your time, especially considering that it's an Alterna book, so the entire 4-issue mini will cost you $6. Which is a hard concept to wrap your head around when you think about it. Alterna, if you aren't aware, prints on newsprint, and sells all their ongoing and miniseries for $1.50, whereas everywhere else in the industry standards $4. So it is pretty fun when you have a big stack of books on New Comic Book Day, as one tends to, and they're you have 4 or 5 alternate books, and it only adds $6 or $7 to your total instead of $30. I average like 15 to 20 books a week, so being able to get a handful of books for not too much is a precious thing for me. They did recently come into some controversy, and draw what conclusions you may from that, and I wouldn't dwell on them. I think a lot of accusations were somewhat unfounded. In my opinion, it doesn't matter. Draw your own conclusions. Seek out your own evidence. Don't believe everything you read. I'm all for, everybody. I'm not, obviously, not everybody. That's crazy. But, I'm willing to hear both sides of an argument before I draw conclusions. And in the recent alternate controversy, like I said, I don't think a lot of the accusations against them were founded. So, this is not the time or the place to discuss it anyway. If you have any questions about that, you feel free to message me, comment on this video, do whatever you want. Well, that's all the books for this week. Kind of a decent week, 5 books. On later weeks, I will be occasionally doing Kickstarter book spotlights, classic comic spotlights. I'm trying to average like 5 or 6 books a week that I'm talking about. So if there's a week I only get 4, it just gives me a little flexibility. As I said at the beginning of the show, if you like what you see or hear, please do subscribe to our channel and watch our other show, Comic Watchers. Look me up on the site, comic-watch.com, or on Facebook at John Jack, and my group For the Love of Comic Books at our Facebook page, The Comic Watchers Show, our show Comic Watchers on YouTube. John Batusi Jack on Twitter. Comic Watch Ace is the Comic Watch page on Twitter. We do have a Patreon on the site if you feel like donating, and I guess that's about it. And that's 2 weekly shows a week for free. So if you wanted to subscribe to our Patreon, I'm sure our big boss man would appreciate that. Alright, well, thanks for watching. I didn't mess up once this week, so if you made it to this point in the show, you are welcome. And thanks for watching, and have a great week, everybody. See you next weekend.